Okay, here we go. First time I'm doing this with POE, and I've already done this with CEA, and I did this with IED, and it kind of worked out. So I'm doing this for the third time. I've practiced already with the other two classes. Now it's Principle of Engineering, which of course is my favorite class because you guys were with me last year, and I'm just so glad you came back. So Principles of Engineering, Schoology, every day, course page, every day. If you're at school, if you're home, you go here every day and you start here. And citizenship, you know how that works. Your score rises as you are a good participant and a hard worker and helping each other. How to cam scan, I think most of you know, but if you forgot or if it's not working for you, Mr. Pearson made that document explaining it, or at the very least, I can try to explain it to you in class so we can figure that out. Announcements every day. You're at home, look at the announcements. You're with me, look at the announcements. When I'm standing in front of you, we're going to look at the announcements. This is going to drive everything. And so today is Wednesday, and hopefully I have updated the Wednesday announcements. This thing's a little laggy. So Wednesday, September 9th, 2020, Block 4, Principles of Engineering, Project Lead the Way, Course 2. What's late? Now 1.1.0 was the assignment we did the first week, and some people were able to do it, and some people didn't understand how to do it, and I didn't explain it well, or all kinds of combination of those reasons. So I have no problem whatsoever with you turning this in late if you did not already turn it in and getting full credit for that, even though it's going to be late. No problem, no problem. We can figure that out. But then there's this week, and this week we're doing 1.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4. Yesterday, the kids in class did 0.2. Hopefully, if you were at home, you looked at it. Today, the kids in class are doing 0.3. And then those of you who were here yesterday and not here today, hopefully you're looking at it and trying to do that one. 1.1.4 scheduled for tomorrow. Don't worry about it until tomorrow because you never know what changes I will make for that. And so that means that the assignments due this weekend, in addition to 1.1.0, which if you didn't turn it in is now due for full credit. And then 112 and 113, I know that those are going to be due. 114 could disappear or could change or who knows what. Regarding this teammate at school and at home, I'm really committed to this. I think it's going to work. But what I have to have is you communicating. Some of you are already communicating through other ways. But what I want you to do for me and my digital record is I want you to email each other every day that you are at school. And you are at school twice a week. So that's twice that you have to send an email home. Now, what's nice about this is if you are in school and you email to the person at home, you're going to tell them what we're doing while they're at home. And that will help them be more engaged and know what's going on and maybe, feel better. It's really confusing sitting at home and not really understanding what's going on. So you tell them what they're doing. And then the next day, your relationship reverses where you will be at home and the person at school will send you an email telling you what's going on. Make sure you copy me on these emails so I have a record of all of that communication. So those are the announcements. 112 yesterday, 113 today. And if we go back to our Schoology page, we looked at the announcements. Now it's the Project Lead the Way page, which will not open in Schoology, so you have to open it in another tab. And then there it is. Now the 110, is what we did the first week, first day. That's the interview. 112, we skipped. I'm sorry, 111 we skipped, and then 112 we did, and I think we did it. I think we did that. Let me make sure. I think we did that last week, or at least we started it last week. Some people really didn't have a chance to work on it. So did we do it last week? If I'm looking back at, which again, you should do, if I'm looking back at the Friday announcements, it looks like we did 112 for the Thursday kids that were in school and 112 for the Friday kids that were in school. And it wasn't due, so you may not have finished it. And so here we are back, 112, simple machine practice problems. What I find very annoying about this is that you have to open up a Windows doc in order to do what they just should have put in the web page. Okay, so here is that item. These are problems, and they are solved the way that I do physics problems. If you've either had my physics class or heard of the way that I do things in physics class. In Project Lead the Way, they give you these steps and this table to fill in, and I don't like any of that. What I do like is that there's a problem here. a first-class lever in static equilibrium, etc. It gives you information. Oh, motion detector. So, and then it says sketch if you want. I'm not really that concerned about that. And then after you have this information about the problem, then you have, it's asking you, what is the actual mechanical advantage? And then you have another piece, calculate the length. I consider all of this one problem. They listed as 3 things. Forget the 3 things. Simply go to the problem, give what they're asking for. They're asking for a second thing. And so you should use the guess method. If you don't know the guess method, guess, G-U-E-S-S. The given, which in this case is 50 and 15 and 4. The unknown, which is in this case is the actual mechanical advantage and the length. The equation, which you find those equations in the PowerPoint. I forgot to tell you about that. I'll go back to that. The substitution, when you have the equation, put the numbers in, and then the solution, you solve the equation. G-U-E-S-S. If that's confusing, we'll work on it. Don't worry. Okay, so there's a lot of things here. Looks like there's a lot. Looks like there's a lot. It says there's 30 items. There's really like 8 problems. Still super hard, but it's not as bad as it looks. Okay, let me get rid of that, and let me go back to activity 1.1.1, which we did not do, but you need these 2 PowerPoints. You have to view and take notes from these 2 PowerPoints in the 1.1.2 lesson in your notebook. You're not doing 1.1.1, you're using these 2 from 1.1.1 in the assignment for 1.1.2, and it's going to give you those equations and examples of all that for doing these problems that I just showed you. Okay, so if you're still wondering what in the world is he trying to make us do, it doesn't make sense what he's saying. Oh, I went to the wrong thing. It doesn't make sense what he's saying. Well, I've got the engineering notebook simulator. And the engineering notebook simulator, I'm actually very proud of this. I hope you find it useful. You don't have to use it if you feel like I know what to do. I don't need to see his work. And so this is just a sheet that I made, which looks like an engineering notebook, and it has a table of contents. And I have my table of contents entry. Of course, you have to have those as well. And then there is this 1.1.2, the simple machine problems. This is what that looks like. Here's what my solution to the problem looks like, which I probably did with some of you in class. So this is a notebook entry for 1.1.2. Well, remember, we were actually going to talk about 1.1.3, which is here, gears. There's a note that you have to put in the introduction. There is another PowerPoint that you have to look at and take notes on. Now, this portion of the procedure, these you have to take notes on. These you have to take notes on. These you have to take notes on. All the way to these examples that are not necessary. I don't need you to do these examples. You can do them when they're actually real problems. Here's more notes for you. More notes for you. Okay, then it gets to this, build a simple gear train. Let's not worry about that for now. Compound gear trains, let's not worry about that for now. And let's just get all the way down to the conclusion questions. And that's what you would have in your notebook. So speaking of your notebook, for this 1.1.3, this is what I have. This is a simulation of what a notebook entry might look like. And then there's 1.1.4, pulleys, drives, and sprockets. This is today's assignment, which we haven't done yet. I haven't even looked at it yet. I haven't done an engineering notebook entry on it yet. But this is another assignment similar. Instead of gears, which was the last one, this is belt and pulley. And we will look at this more carefully when we are actually in class. And then just know it's going to include a engineering notebook entry. I don't even have it yet, but I will do that with you in class today, Wednesday. Going back to start here, we've covered all that. Going back to the main page. Virtual open house is on Thursday. Here's the link and the password for that. Participate in that if you can. And then what we did week 1, there's lesson 0. Everybody got 20 out of 20. There's the interview. Then week 2, which is now, 1.1.2 and 1.1.3. And there's going to be 1.1.4. And that's where I'll post this video that I'm making for you right now, which you will be watching because you saw it in the Schoology. So I don't need to explain that the link is there because obviously you clicked on it to watch this. So this is clumsy for me. I'm trying to give you information, but sometimes it's confusing, and we will just continue to work on it and continue and continue. And so I'm going to push stop on this recording and say bye-bye.